Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips and special guest, Jamie Penningh. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Paul, yourself?
Yeah, good. And you too, Matto. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's not a guest, it's our first auditionee.
To replace Damo. He's trapped on the Alps and may never come back, and I think we're off to a pretty solid start, just quietly.
I thought he was stuck on an island with a beach ball.
Could be that too, who knows?
Yes, my audition tape is like the past 3 sort of podcasts that I've done. So,
and you've done an excellent job on all those, like the House of Mario, etc.
Yeah, go and listen to those, and then come back here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
make sure, like, watch the episode out or listen to the episode, and then go check out Jamie there. We don't want to lose those clicks, you know.
No,
retention's good.
Could have just said, "Can I come on?" We would have said, "Sure."
Yeah,
well,
we might even when Damo's back, we might do this sort of stuff, and we'll just rest someone for a week. We could rest me for the week.
Oh,
have I ever missed it? Have I ever missed an episode? I doubt it because I record everything, right?
One.
What did I miss?
Matt kicked you off and interviewed a guy.
Oh yeah, but that wasn't even a numbered episode. That was just an extra. That's one of the extra things. Yeah, okay, fine, I'll pay it. Jamie, before we get into the show properly, for anyone who hasn't maybe caught up with you either on social media over the journey or on the various cameos and other shows that you've done in the past, who are you? What do you do? Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, first off, my name's Jamie. I'm 32. Husband, got two girls, and I'm been a lifelong Nintendo fan. Ever since I was 6 years old, ever since Christmas that year, I just have been hanging around with Nintendo. Like, we started off with one of these that we're going to talk about tonight, which is
the Gameboy.
My very first Game Boy that I got for Christmas that year. It served me well. And since then, we ended up getting a Super Nintendo not long after that. And ever since then, I've sort of just been following each year. Every console that's been coming out since, pretty much most handhelds as well. So, like, favorite series like Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, Metroid. I'm a big Metroid fan.
Getting hyped for next month.
I wish that I was getting it.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
I wish I was getting it day one. I just can't do it.
Can't make it happen
at the moment. No, but I am looking forward to playing Metroid Dread when the opportunity comes. But for now, it's just going to have to wait. Like, the opportunity will come in due time.
I mean, if you got that love of the franchise, there's no way you're going to deprive yourself of it too long.
Oh no, definitely not. It's just yeah.
You were clearly brought up in a similar sort of time, and with the same sorts of consoles that Matto and I copped. I mean, Matto, you were I was Super Nintendo and then Game Boy, but the same combination at the beginning there. You were much the same, right?
Pretty much. I think I was, Super Nintendo, 64, then Game Boy.
Yeah, checks out. So I guess we've all touched on the Game Boy, and I guess that, I mean, for anyone who's not necessarily paid close attention to the title of the episode or whatever, we're talking about the Game Boy. And the fact, the reason why we're doing that, is because there's been some reporting. These two are both holding up their Game Boys, both really impressive units, I might add. Matto's wheeling out the colour as well. We do bundle the colour into this one. But anyway, he's just whipped another one out of his sleeve. The fact that Jamie can't see us here probably is underwhelming slightly to him, as you're just whipping them out of different spots and pockets and in the back of your hood and God knows where else. But I'll
whip out one of these. Eh?
Oh, there we go.
Nice. I can play that. I can play that game.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I'll let you two have your pissing contest. Let's get it all out of the way. Let's just put them out on the desk. Oh, you've got the same thing.
We'll just get, link cable.
Is that a link cable?
Yeah, that's a link cable.
Oh, you don't even have the OG black one though, do you?
No, I don't. I've just got a third party.
Okay, I've got you there. I just don't have it with me. Oh, man.
No, that's just USB. That's just a USB cable.
That's just a random USB.
I'll just start pulling random things out.
I can do that. Like, it's connected to my
front
Series X. It's not really a Nintendo thing at all, but like I've got a USB-C cable here. That'll do. Anyway,
I got one of them.
Is that the scanner?
That's the e-reader. Yep.
Very nice.
For the advance. Yeah. Very weird, but very cool.
Anyone who's listening to the audio-only version, firstly, switch over to the video version and check out all this awesome stuff.
Definitely. There's going to be a lot of stuff shown tonight that's going to be look really nostalgic.
Yeah, nice throwback. So the reason we're doing it is because there's been some reporting in the last week or two basically highlighting Matto's just wheeling out more Game Boy cartridges. That's basically indicating that Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles are soon going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service, which firstly, about time, because that they did anything. Like, doesn't matter whether it's Game Boy, 64, GameCube, whatever, like all the stuff that people are like, the fact that they're doing something is great, because it's been a while since the Super Nintendo was first added onto it, and they haven't been exactly pumping those titles out at any great clip. But what we thought we would do is assemble the 10 games, the agreed 10 games between us, that should be headline acts when this thing launches, when the Game Boy titles pop up on the Switch. Because we think, and Jamie, you might have a better idea than the two of us, like that when they have launched the NES or the Super Nintendo onto the Nintendo Switch Online, they still didn't put that many titles on there in the first batch. Like it was okay, but it wasn't a gigantic, here's 30, 40 titles, was there?
No. So the
pretty small taster.
I think the original sort of NES, they had, I think it might have been about 20 sort of titles to start with, and NES was probably about 14, 15 maybe, but it had all your bigger hits there, like on your Super Nintendo, you had Super Mario World, you had Legend of Zelda, you had Super Metroid, you had F-Zero, you know, you had all those hits there to start with, but then there's still stuff that was missing. Like,
and in some cases still is.
Yeah.
They're dragging their feet.
But it has gotten better. Like, I did hear that nowadays there's actually a lot more offerings on the NES and Super NES Online compared to what was on the Wii U Virtual Console. So, in sheer numbers. Whereas quality, you could question that with some things that have come out. But there are a lot of hits on there. Like, I'm a big proponent of the Nintendo Switch Online.
There's some great stuff there.
I personally use it quite a fair bit, mainly for my favourite game, Donkey Kong Country 2. But
we should shout that out briefly as well. I mean, a lot of people who follow the Player 2 content know that I did a full playthrough series of all 3 Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country games, and Jamie was getting a shout out in basically every single episode because you are a genius when it comes to that game. The amount of insight, hints, and tips, and obviously they were all after the fact because I was kind of recording it in a vacuum. But like the episode would go live on any given Saturday or Sunday, and then the message had come through usually within about 24 hours or so. That was kind of giving me some little pointers about how I could have approached that one, or did you know about this, or like it was unbelievable. And so, I mean, just clarify for everyone, what's the fastest time that you've completed Donkey Kong Country 2?
So in terms of in-game time, like my initial aim was to get under 2 hours, and I started off. I'd done them ages ago on the Wii U. I think I'd done it about 3.5. Yes. This is in-game time. So eventually, after about 4 or 5 runs at it, I got down to 1 hour and 51 minutes.
That's awesome.
Of in-game time.
And that was getting everything, wasn't it? That wasn't just a simple start to finish. Yeah,
full 102% playthrough. And since then, like, I've gone another 2 times under that 2 hours. I still haven't gone past 1 hour and 51. I'd like to do that again, but it's certainly a game that I get the very most full enjoyment out of by just blitzing through it, because I just absolutely adore it.
That's awesome. I think you've blown Matto's mind. What are you going to say, mate?
I was also say, when you said like 1 hour and 51, I'm pretty sure I only got up to the second world, and I was on about 1 hour and a half. Like, I'll just double check and make sure.
Oh, you did? Wait, of course, you're whipping out your Switch, having a quick look. Yeah, okay. Always good to have it right there. Well, yeah, while Matto's finding that game clock and to see where he's at and how long it's taken, we are going to basically assemble our own launch lineup for the Game Boy / Game Boy Color when it hits the Nintendo Switch Online, assuming it does. It's the reporting has been pretty comprehensive. There's a lot of people confirming it, so I think it's fairly likely at this point. We're going to try and come up with 10 agreed titles. Okay, how long did it take? I can see the laughter.
Okay, wait, I'll do it backwards. So 43% I done. I got 10 DK coins, 33 pirate coins, and how long did it take me? It has so far taken me 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Jamie's shaking his head in disgust. And
I'm just going into my Super NES Online because I want to actually tell how many hours I've actually spent on this game, because it actually keeps your play time.
yes, it does. Yeah, good point.
In the thing, unlike on the Switch itself, where it just
Well, yeah.
There we go. So in Donkey Kong Country 2 on Switch Online, I have a play time of 28 hours and 22 minutes.
Wow.
Right.
So I've nearly put 30 hours into that.
It's pretty damn impressive, though. All right, so we'll stop pumping each other up a ton, and we'll get to it, because we could go all day. There's some impressive numbers here that are being thrown around. Who wants to get the ball rolling and kind of throw out the first game that we believe our stake in the ground for a game that should be on this list?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I definitely think this has to be an absolute staple. This has to be the one pretty much the one game that has to be on there.
I think this is that one that Matto, that we can't argue regardless. But he's holding up Tetris.
And
Matto,
it's Tetris.
Thoughts on Tetris? Because I had it on my list.
Oh, isn't it already on the Switch as an online thing?
Yeah.
Tetris 99.
But is it as cool as original Tetris? I'm going to say no.
It's not as cool as the original Tetris.
No,
Yeah,
but
nothing
the
beats
original the original Tetris is iconic. It is
Yeah.
what powered the Game Boy for a very long time.
It made it as big as it did. No, you're 100% right. That game is so incredibly important to Nintendo and their handhelds.
I'm just holding up the instruction booklet as well. So
Holy hell.
yeah.
I remember those things.
Yeah, remember when we used to have to read these books? These books, and actually tells you what to do and how to play the game? You don't get that anymore.
I opened up the cupboard today that has, I dropped into my parents' place where a whole bunch of all those games are stashed, and I opened up the cupboard that has the Game Boy games and the Super Nintendo games and 64 games in it, and a whole ton of booklets all fell out the door as soon as I opened it. So it was good to see all those again, and then spend 10 minutes cleaning them all up.
But literally, yeah, you could play this game and the music would just sit. The music would sit in your head forever.
Yeah,
I could literally just I can hear the tune in the back of my head right now. Plus, this also had 2-player as well. So you had a 2-player versus mode. So you could literally use the Switch Online. They could utilize that to have 2-player versus.
You grab that keyboard.
I had thought about this too. They could do they could do a USB-C to USB-C between switches and make it sort of
I mean, obviously they have done a little bit of work with some of their NES and Super Nintendo games that have come to Nintendo Switch Online, like some of the online features, for example, that I didn't even know they'd added. And this is, I guess, going back to our Donkey Kong Country conversation, but I didn't know those were there. And all of a sudden, one night, you and I are playing Donkey Kong Country. Was it 2 at the time? Yeah, we went back and played 2, and we were playing it online. That blew my mind. But yeah, they're doing. I knew they were doing some work with it. I didn't realize it was that sort of level of extensive. So it's quite cool what they're up to. And why not do it with Tetris?
Exactly, and how you played it, there was no sort of lag. There might have been a tiny bit, but did you really notice it? I mean, not really. No. And it's really fluid. The online multiplayer is actually a lot more understated than what it really is. It is actually quite a robust system that more people should use.
100%. So I think we're all probably in agreement on that one. Matto, thoughts? You're good with Tetris?
Yeah, I kind of completely forgot about it, to be honest. I thought Tetris, but Tetris has been on pretty much every console known to man.
It'd be interesting to see with I assume they'd be able to pull that exact version to make it happen. I don't know if there'd be some weird licensing stuff, because Tetris has changed hands a few times over the decades. But I'm sure that's one of those ones that if you're Nintendo, you'd be trying to lock that one down very, very quickly. So Matto, you can go. You may as well take the next one. And what I feel, and maybe taking Jamie's lead as well. I feel like we should probably go with the ones that we each individually think personally should be sure things. So that maybe it gets to some ugly point at the end where we're duking it out over the last 2 spots. We've got 3 games into 2 spots or something horrible like that. That'd be great viewing and listening.
Oh, I probably don't have as many Game Boy games as probably you two. Because I thought I played a lot of games, and then I thought to myself, maybe
had
I
7.
don't. I had 3.
Oh, okay. Your all
But-
3 might just have to make it.
Maybe not necessarily. I could just throw in a random one. But
Well, I've got 5, so
yeah. Sorry. So I got thrown off when you were saying about USB cords to do the Nintendo, the Switch thing.
Oh,
Like the old days.
yeah.
I'm thinking,
Yeah, the
imagine
link cable.
imagine millennials trying to figure out how to do that.
It'd be an absolute disaster.
You see all these old people's like, oh yeah, just do it like this. Just
I mean,
do
even
it.
now I've just gone, hang on, that's right, the bottom of my thing's a USB-C. Look, now my Switch is plugged into my Xbox Series X. Technology, people.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, it's charging. Wait,
Use the
turning on.
technology, have it online, but then
It's
just have
turning on.
have the nostalgic value of connecting a cord between units.
Though I should be clear, that's like the startup screen for that one. Thank you very much, Nintendo, for a recent donation you made us.
People don't understand the pain of the cable. But my game, we'll say it's an oddball. We'll say an oddball game.
You've got an oddball
Oddball
selection.
game.
Okay.
It's something you wouldn't think of when I say this, and that's Pokemon
Oh.
But which
Never heard of it.
Pokemon?
Pinball.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, I thought, but yes, let's just agree. Yes, Pokemon. We're gonna say definitely Pokemon. But which one? Yeah, there we
I
go.
just had it handy. Jamie just whips it out.
Pokemon Pinball, yes, the one that had the Rumble Pack.
Yes.
How many games do you have there with you right now?
Uh,
Do you have something for every? Like, have you seen our lists? Do you have a copy of every game?
I have not.
Oh,
That was actually my reserve option. If
Oh, really?
If one of mine
it
had
came
got
to that?
picked, yeah. So
I had Pinball on my list as well. It was kind of
Yeah.
lower down on my list, but I mean, if I was to make 10, it would have made 10 personally. Had so much fun with that.
Oh yeah, that's what I think. Like, I just thought, what Game Boy games did I have the most fun with? And Pokemon Pinball was definitely one of those games I had a lot of fun with. Even though it had-
They've only done one more since then, haven't they? There was one based around Ruby and Sapphire,
yeah,
wasn't it? And that
Pokemon
was it
Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire on the GBA.
on the GBA, and then that's it. We've not seen Pinball ever since, which is a shame.
what?
Did you
How
did you not play
dare
the Ruby
they.
and Sapphire one?
Oh,
No.
really?
No,
Oh,
I did
mate.
not. Go on, pull that one out too.
Oh, I did.
for it.
Here's one I prepared earlier in case we decided to start doing a Game Boy Advance collection as well.
I don't know where it is. Yeah, you keep going.
Well,
All right.
hopefully, like one of the games I have, you just don't happen to have handy. As far as the actual Game Boy titles are concerned, I'll give you a pass on any Game Boy Advance stuff since we weren't technically going to be covering.
No, it's in another box. It's not with me.
Fair enough. Matto, any other thoughts that you wanted to shout out when it comes to pinball, or and are we happy to have that one on our list? I didn't think that'd come up as early as it did, but are we happy to have that one on our list?
It could certainly use the rumble of the Switch. Like the original
Yes.
had the built-in rumble into the cartridge, so I can't see why it can't just utilize, especially with the HD rumble. Like they could utilize the different sides of the pin table to utilize the different sides of the rumble in the
Oh
Joy-Cons.
my god! So
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd be able to make that happen with essentially a port of it to the Switch Online. But imagine a new Pokemon Pinball where they did that.
Oh yeah, that'd be insane. Or even
This idea just came to me. So what if, right? You know, Nintendo do all their stuff, do their old nostalgia stuff. So why won't they just make a controller out of this? Just cut off the screen.
Keep in mind, Jamie can't see. You need to make sure you describe it.
Alright, so get your Game Boy, right? And just forget about the screen part and just the A, B, and the D-pad buttons.
oh, I get where you're going.
And then
Ah.
just put a rumble, in that. People will love that.
Well,
I guess, yeah.
If you're over 30, if you're under 30, you're probably
There's
going
a
to
certain demographic
confused
that's
of what's
going
going on.
There was also, remember that accessory that came out, the flip grip? Could you imagine
Yes.
turning it on its side and having the controllers in and having it like straight up and down, so you're using the whole screen of the Switch rather than just the small gap in the middle.
Yeah. Hey, Nintendo. 3 prospective employees here. Just give us a ring, right? Holy hell, we're onto something.
You know my number.
Yeah. I'm sure they probably do at this point over the years. All right, so I guess my turn then. I was going to throw out. I figure the Pokemon games are going to come up, so I'm going to, as in the core games are going to come up. So I'll save them for later, just in case of emergency, break glass, that sort of thing. I'm going to throw out the original Donkey Kong, not as in Donkey Kong Country or Land or any of those, like the original one. Mario heading up the thing and the barrels getting thrown down and all that stuff. I assume we all remember that one?
It's the one they usually refer to as Donkey Kong 94, isn't it?
Yes.
Or is that a different one?
Yeah, I mean that would be the right time. So yeah, like just straight up called Donkey Kong, no country, no land, no anything. It's the original one where it's Mario at the tower and Peach he's kidnapped. Princess Toadstool at the time, and like she's at the top and it's just level after level where you're just trying to ascend and get to the top and dodge everything that's all the hazards that either DK's throwing at you or whatever. The Donkey Kong game where you play as Mario, the one that introduced Mario, basically. Well, kind of. And obviously, like that wasn't the first time we'd seen it because it was an arcade thing beforehand. But as far as Nintendo platforms are concerned, that's where that kind of kicked off, and I would vouch very heavily for that. I spent so much time with that. I popped it in into my Super Key to pop it into the Super Nintendo, and I just keep playing it. So many good times with that. Don't tell me you've just got a Super Key there. Sorry, not a Super Key. Was it a Super Key? No, the Super Key was the thing that allowed me to play North American games. The one that allowed you to pop your Game Boy games into them, though. I can't remember what exactly the name was. The adapter.
No, don't have that. No, I don't have that on my hands. I never had that sort of thing, so...
Yeah, okay. Whereas I still got enough... The likes of Earthbound and Chrono Trigger and those sort of things, I needed to have myself a Super Key because they never released them out here. You had to get the NTSC versions of them. So obviously different shape, different form factor, didn't fit our Super Nintendos. So yeah, but yeah, what I was trying to get at, was the Game Boy adapter, and yeah, I'll throw my weight behind Donkey Kong.
Yeah, no,
anyone?
That makes sense.
Anyone with any thoughts? Do everyone play it?
No, it's one of those ones that I've never played. No.
Oh, go fix that one up. I think this would be, ignore my preferences and that sort of thing. I feel like this would be one of those day one games just because of its historical value.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's a title that I often hear about as being quite highly regarded, so I can't see why it shouldn't be there.
Sweet. Well, Jamie, that means it's back over to you again with your next selection.
Okay, so at a time when this came out, Pokemon was all the rage. This is why this title just never really saw the life that it should have. It's actually one of my personal favourites. And the game
go on.
is Mulmania.
I don't think I'm familiar with Mulmania.
So Mulmania is a first-party title. It's a first-party title developed by Shigeru Miyamoto. And it's essentially, the story is that you play as a mole called Muddy, and his wife and kids have been kidnapped by a farmer called Jimby.
Yeah.
And so Muddy finds out that they've been missing, so they have to go to the Jimby's land to go and rescue them. So it's essentially screen-by-screen puzzles. So the aim is each room has a door, and you have to use Muddy's abilities by pushing a ball around, throwing the ball, to break the door down to go to the next room.
Matto, don't tell me you're playing it right now. I can see you with a Game Boy in your hand and a game in it, and you're playing something.
No, I was playing Street Fighter 2.
But so, and you get each level, it gets bigger and bigger. There's like 8 levels in the game, and the one thing about it, like, yes, you've got above ground, like trying to solve the puzzle, but you've also got to utilize below ground because you're a mole.
Right.
So it's a puzzle element of not blocking yourself off and getting past all the obstacles to get the ball through the door to go to the next puzzle. And at the end of each level, there's a boss, and you got to try and use the ball to hit the boss, depending on what abilities the boss may have.
Yeah. Okay.
And and you get a point score. You get a point score for each level. So out of 100, so you get a point for clearing a room. There's 20 cabbages in the game. You put cabbage in the hole, you get points. There's a bonus stage where you've got to basically put all the cabbages into holes while Jimby the farmer's chasing you. and yeah, you get a score out of 100. So, and you just do that for all 8 levels of the game. Like it's
And this is a Miyamoto gig.
yeah, this is a Miyamoto game. This is why this title's just completely sort of missed people because at the time that it came out, Pokemon was all the rage.
Yeah, right.
But
so it just got completely lost.
Yeah, and it has a if you plug it into a Super Game Boy, it actually has a really nice border. That's the thing that this service should also have is nice borders for these titles like they did on the Super Game Boy. But yeah, Mulmania definitely should be there because it's just a title. It is a really good title that people have just missed.
I mean, I know nothing about it outside of what you've told me today, but you're that passionate about it that I'll defer to your judgment.
I mean, definitely just give it a go. Just find some way to play it. Find a way to play it, and
we won't be seen to be encouraging any unethical behaviours. But if that's what you've got to do, that's what you've got to do.
If you want to go out of your way to play it, then go out and play it.
I mean, half of all those sites are getting slammed with all sorts of court cases at the moment, so it's that little bit harder for people at the moment if they want to go down that path anyway. Nintendo's throwing the ban hammer at them, but
yes.
Matto, thoughts? I mean, like that was a fair pitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say that mole on the front looks a bit like Winnie the Pooh, but yeah, I'm convinced.
Yeah, I'm sold on the whole thing. Hell, I'm gonna go play it after this. You might see a player who plays about this game in the future.
It also has 2-player, like where one person plays as the mole, the other plays as Jimmy the farmer. So it's up to, the mole has to put the cabbages into the holes, whereas the Jimmy the farmer's got to stop him, and whoever does so at the end of the time limit wins. So it could use that.
Blown away by this game, and I need to play it.
As I said, it's really good. It just does ramp up in difficulty quite a fair bit towards the end, but it's really good. It's well worth playing. That's
sweet. Yeah, well, I mean, Matto, we're clearly the same mind. Like, I'm not going to get in your way on this one. Like, I've been sold by the pitch.
Anything sounds better than Spanky's Quest. Let's be honest.
But I remember hanging shit on Twitter about Spanky's Quest that day.
I know you got absolutely ripped.
I got reamed by everyone. Not just about Spanky's Quest, but every other game that was in that batch either that I criticised for being a poorer one. I think Jamie, you piped up to put me on my place about one game. Someone else popped in and gave me a hard time about another. Someone got me for another. I'm like,
yeah, I think that was
got this completely wrong.
I think that was Prehistoric Man because I was actually quite interested.
Yeah, that might have been on.
I did like 3 levels of it, and I'm like, this is too clunky. I can't do this.
I copped it from everyone there, so I learnt my lesson. I'll never speak out about the offerings from Nintendo Switch Online ever again. They're all fantastic. I'll never question you need Nintendo gods.
Yeah, Matto. And the funny thing about it is you got absolutely slammed for it. I was fine.
Because you kept it contained to the show. You were very smart. You kept it contained to the show. I put it out on Twitter for everyone to see, and I copped it.
Well, I was also laughing at Spanky's Quest and thought it was a stupid game, but
you learnt a lesson without copying the grilling for it.
Yeah.
Matto, what's your next? What's your next?
It's like I did put that retweet out before I read yours. Like, whoa, dodged the bullet there. Okay, this one is a rare game.
A rare game or an uncommon game?
The company rare.
Hey, okay.
But also could be a rare game. Who knows?
Oh,
this also had a rumble pack in it.
Oh.
And I had a lot of fun with it as a kid. He's trying to think real hard. You're not going to get it.
No. Which one is it?
I don't think a lot of people knew this was on the Game Boy because there was another game on the 64 that was a little bit better. That was Perfect Dark.
Oh yeah, Perfect Dark was on the Game Boy.
Was on the Game Boy, yes.
Holy hell!
Because I had a lot of fun with that. This was funny enough, a prequel to the 64 game, which is a better prequel than the other one on the Xbox.
Well, yeah, let's not talk about Perfect Dark Zero. The less we say about that, the better. Let's just put our faith in the initiative to fix things up these days. Their quadruple A title, as they've declared it.
Forgot about that.
Because AAA games aren't good enough. We need to stick an extra A on there.
To make it sound more cool.
and then some of their best talent disappears and goes back to Insomniac. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. I don't want to bring PlayStation into this. I do enough of that.
The first time we have not talked about PlayStation in a while.
Yeah, we've had a lot of play. It's taken Jamie to come along to straighten us up and make us a better show.
I had to make changes to the poster as well. I had to put a Mario head on.
Yeah, there's a Mario head on the Corey Barlog poster. I had known nothing about the Game Boy version of Perfect Dark though, other than the fact that it existed.
Same here. I know it existed, but never touched it, so I wouldn't have a clue.
I wish I could tell you the story about it. But it's been so long since I played it, and I couldn't find it. It's around the house somewhere, and I couldn't remember. I was going to play it today and just get a better idea. But it's pretty much, it involves, like, you're looking down on the Joanna Dark, and also has some sniping activities as well. Where you just take out enemies.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
And Rare did actually develop that one as well. It wasn't something that they palmed off to some other obscure developer at the time while they were doing the main game.
Let me have a look.
Rare did stay with handhelds for quite a while after the deal was made. Because they did like the country games on GBA, and they did.
They even supported the DS for a little while, didn't they?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they did the Diddy Kong Racing DS version.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the answer is yes, they did do it.
Okay. Good on them. It's one of those things. Put it in Rare Replay, damn it.
It's not cool enough.
No, not cool enough.
Battletoads is cool enough, but no.
Battletoads is real cool. All right, I'll throw my next one out there. And given that we've gone down a path that I didn't expect, like when I put Donkey Kong out there, I thought, okay, this is going to we're going to see Pokemon come up, and we're going to see Zeldas start to rear their heads, and Mario titles, and none of them have done that yet. So I'm going to continue that trend and just make sure that I throw my stake in the ground for this one, because this is my favorite game in this particular franchise, Harvest Moon 2.
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of it. I don't think there was a game that I played more on the Game Boy than that, and that includes the fact that there were Pokemon games on there. And yeah, I played Pokemon Silver till I was blue in the face, but I played Harvest Moon 2 even more.
Yeah, well, I know people like when kids played Harvest Moon, not the DS, the Super Nintendo version, but
the OG,
they sunk tons of hours into Harvest Moon. So I'm not surprised that a Harvest Moon game is on someone's list.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm a bit of a sucker for a farming sim. I disappeared for a little while because they were all very, very samey, and the actual Harvest Moon franchise itself really waned in quality. It's only been since they kind of rebranded through some legal bits and pieces that kind of came up that it's become Story of Seasons these days. That's kind of gotten me back in, but Harvest Moon 2 from all the way back in the day on the Game Boy is just, or the Game Boy Color specifically, that one, it had the black cartridge and all that. There's games on that list now that I would take that before I even pick Donkey Kong, which I've already thrown there and we've locked into the list. Like I would take Harvest Moon for that. It's one of those games that I could just lose months to, even now I reckon. So I'll throw that one out there. We might have to, I'm building a little list on a sticky note here. We may have some awkward conversations for all of us shortly, but we'll see how that comes along.
10's going to be difficult.
We've got 4 spots left. Matto, you said you had 3 games in the first place, so you've only got 1 left. But you said you had 5, Jamie? I've got 7,
While you two find it out, I'll just turn on my Game Boy and just play it for a little bit while you...
Well, actually, let me just go through and tick off what's been ticked off. So, I should preface for everyone, because I've referenced that I feel like it's obvious that Pokemon games and those sorts of things are going to come along. We're bundling things together like Red, Blue, and Yellow. We're bundling Gold, Silver, Crystal. We're bundling, if the Zelda Oracle games come up, we're bundling those together. All that sort of thing. Like those ones kind of go together for the sake of this, just to not bloat out the list with 6 Pokemon titles, for example. Like that would do all sorts of damage. So
6 Pokemon titles, 2 Donkey Kongs, and 2 Marios,
and that's it. We're done.
What a list.
So Jamie, what have you got next for us?
Okay, so I do have a Pokemon game next. but it's not main series. It is
TCG.
Yes, TCG. So I'm holding up a black cartridge.
The trading card game.
Yes, the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy.
Did you ever
I
try it
c-
out, Matto? Because I saw that look on your face. Oh, it was amazing.
I really
You are
just
missing
think,
out.
I thought I was just better go run off and go grab the actual things I used to play with called trading cards.
I could easily do that. I just got to go down to the cupboard and get one.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing the trading card game really intensely at that time. Like the first 3 sets, I have all of them, and then TCG, the game came along, and it just continued to feed the beast. It was like the perfect thing for those times when, like, I'd collected the entire first set, and I'm waiting for the next wave to begin. Well, you know, and I just sink days and hours into the TCG, the video game, and play out that story.
Yeah, well, it had a similar story to the main series. You had to go and get 8 badges from 8 different gyms,
Yep.
and but it had the first 3 sets of the TCG base set, jungle, and fossil, and also had some exclusive Game Boy cards in there as well. So, and remember, back when you got this on release, you got a promo card as well. It was I got a Meowth Game Boy promo.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know where it is, but I've got it somewhere.
Yeah, and so the one thing about this, like, 2-player was quite difficult because you didn't know too many people that would have Pokemon trading card game. So the online component would actually be really good for this because then you could finally play this
Connect
game
up with people.
And the one function that this also had, this game, had a thing called card pop. Now, card pop is when you had 2 Game Boy Colors. Remember, the Game Boy Color had an infrared sensor on the top of it.
Did you say 2 Game
Oh,
Boy
Oh,
Colors?
he's just waving. He's waving around his 2 Game Boy Colors.
So, as you can probably see on the top of Matto's, they have an infrared sensor.
Go on, hold it up, Matto.
What does the Switch also have on a Joy-Con?
Does the same
An
thing on a
infrared-
Joy-Con.
An infrared sensor.
One
So
of them.
when these two came together, you would get a random card, and there was 2 cards that were exclusive to this function. So you could utilize this. Like, you could have, like, I've got a Joy-Con in my hand on the infrared sensor, but you could literally have that, point it towards 2 switches, and you get card pop. You could also do something like mystery gift if you can't do it physically, like you can do it online with someone. But yeah, that would be a sort of a nostalgic point to.
I feel like you're again doing a
stuff.
really good job of pitching what the next version of the trading card game, the video game, needs to be.
I just wish they'd actually put the actual online game on the Switch. That would make it
think
so
you talked
much
to a lot of
easier.
people.
Oh
game.
yeah, that's right. There is an online. Yeah, good point.
I played that extensively, so yeah, I would love to see that come. I understand that there's some difficulties with that, and that they're looking at probably updating the client very soon to something a bit more modern. But yeah, definitely Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy Color. Yeah, should be on that list.
Jeez, we're gonna have a real hard time soon.
Oh yeah.
No, that's it.
It's gonna
That's
be
it.
difficult.
You are knocking off games from my list. Like, I'm down to 3 technically now.
Okay, well, I've got 2
still-
left, so yeah.
Ooh.
I hope there's some crossover. Matto, what have you got for us?
Well, my final one, it's not a Pokemon game,
Nice change of pace
But
for
this-
us.
but this game, it could work on the Switch because there's a one component that it has that this thing had, which was the Game Boy camera.
Oh, I'm just trying to think of how
I'm trying
that
to think
would
how it would
work.
Got a camera, doesn't it?
Well,
No, the Switch
no, it
doesn't have a doesn't have a
It
front.
doesn't. For some reason, I thought it had a camera in it.
If it was a 3DS, because it's got a front and back camera, but on the Switch it doesn't have a camera built in. So
You're confusing the Switch with the glorious PlayStation Vita, Matto.
No.
Sorry, I just let my bias show again.
whoops, slipped.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah,
if it
I'm
wasn't
struggling.
If it wasn't that, there's the Nigel Mansell game.
I mean, that Matto, that belongs on the Super Nintendo one. Nigel Mansell's Racing on the Super Nintendo is weird. Like, that's the only racing game I've ever cared about.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
played on the Game Boy.
Yeah,
Reason
right.
why. Yeah.
The only
Wow.
racing game that I had on the Game Boy was this one. It was F1 Race.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not
was-
familiar
that
with
was-
that one, but
No,
I
no.
love how you've just got all these games handy and ready to go at any point. It's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, it's like I'm just getting them out of a
Yeah,
container.
there's just a bucket and he's just diving into them. But
Container that I've got majority of.
it's just
things
so
in.
seamless, though. You're not even hearing the rustling and crashing, and boom, there's the game ready to go.
So I'll just pull it out. Yeah, there.
Just
Done.
be in case of emergency. There it is. So before what do we think? Does the camera without a
It's
camera
not-
go? Okay, so Matto's
Right.
not even vouching
Yeah.
for it now. So
But,
It's a hard
but-
sell.
but for that, I'm not selling it. But for that case, Nintendo. Why isn't Nigel Mansell on the Super Nintendo online thing then?
Oh, that would have to definitely be licensing issues,
Yeah,
like, especially with the Formula
name.
One games on the PS5 and Series X. Series X,
just-
yeah.
Yeah, Series X.
Yeah.
Nigel Thornberry.
No. All right, that'll do. Well, I guess this maybe frees things up for us a little bit, especially if there is some degree of crossover between us here, Jamie.
We'll see.
Oh,
Hey?
hang on, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, well, I'll get this one out of the way, and I'm going to put another argument in there that might. Well, it's probably a good thing that Damo's not here because he'd get incredibly upset by what I've got to say next.
Is it Final
So-
Fantasy 9?
I'm going to throw up Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Ages and Seasons, not Link's Awakening, not because it's a bad game.
That would be these two cartridges.
I can see Seasons at the moment, but Ages, there
yeah.
you go, that's better.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
Ages and Seasons.
I'm going to throw those up, and I'm not going to put. And if someone had actually mentioned Link's Awakening, I was going to get all antsy about it. I don't. As brilliant as Link's Awakening is, we've got a better version that is now native on the Switch, and so I just don't think, at least at launch, that it's the sort of title you go with. It's one that maybe pops up down the line, but if you're going, here's 10, give them something that they can't already access in a better, more modern way. Like, give them something unique that they wouldn't have had, people wouldn't have had an opportunity to play potentially. So that's why I'm not going with Link's Awakening. But also, in their own right, Oracle of Ages and Seasons are incredible, and the fact that they could link up and you know, there's that extra component if you've completed both games and how those would come together at the end. Like, there was just some incredible stuff that was going on with those two games, and crazily enough, not developed by Nintendo. They were Capcom games.
Yeah, they're Capcom games, yeah. And just the, as you said, the crossover, like, they had a password system where you could, once you finish the game, you got a password, you could chuck it onto the other game, type the password in, basically start a new game.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how that works. Like, there must be just something in that code that says, oh yeah, you've played this game. Here's the other game with extra bits on it, as well as like a final boss that you wouldn't have encountered.
Yeah, like it was pretty full on, and certainly not what I expected from Nintendo. But I guess like it was a period where they were doing lots of multiple SKUs of the same game, in Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, or those sorts of things. But I didn't expect it from Zelda, but it was awesome.
Can't agree more with that. They were very good Zelda games, definitely.
Are we okay with putting Ages/Seasons together? They're one thing on the list.
Oh yeah, they have to be one thing. Yeah, there has to be a Zelda game. Like, if not Link's Awakening, which
Feel free to push back on me about Link's Awakening if you feel the need.
No, I agree with you. Like, the fact that we do have a remake on Switch currently, and the original, you'd have to put
At
on
least
the
it's down the
DX
line.
version. You'd have to put on
Yeah.
the DX version.
Oh, there's that too, yeah.
Yeah, because the DX version has got a bit more to it than the original. So, yeah, down the line, yeah, I can see that, but not in the first instance.
All right. It's over to you again then, Jamie. We're
All
down
right.
to 2 more spots.
So,
Matto, if something pops into your head, obviously make sure to suggest it as well, because we've got a 10th spot that could get... Who knows what's going to happen here. We haven't gone with a
let's be
core
honest.
Pokemon game. There's no Mario games in there. We haven't discussed the classic Conker or Wario
was gonna
Land or any of those. There's heaps of things that
I was
we
going to
could-
say
Metroid.
Dr. Mario, but
Yeah.
Tetris is better.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So
Yeah.
off you go, Dr. Mario.
So technically, I've only got one left because you did pinch Oracle of Ages and Seasons.
Oh, okay.
For me, so there's a crossover there. But we can't have.
Gives me open slather for number 10. Let's see what happens.
We can't have a Game Boy Switch Online service without these 3 banana yellow cartridges.
Oh, he's going Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong Land, Donkey Kong Land 2, and Donkey Kong Land 3. You can't have the country games on SNES and not have the land games on Game Boy. You just can't do that. Like,
Well, Matto, you're only holding up 2 of them at the moment. Do you have the third one?
Don't have 2.
Oh, you don't have 2. You don't have 2.
You don't have the best one.
Oh,
Oh,
I got this.
I don't have any of them, actually. Just for what it's worth.
Missing out. Yeah, well, Donkey Kong Land, like, it was pretty iconic for its first time around. You know, 4 worlds and fully explorable as well, and multiple. I think it ended up being like 40 levels through the game.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, and they were very detailed as well. Like, just thinking how they did the Super Nintendo games and actually able to translate over to Game Boy is pretty impressive.
They did a great job with them. And a few unique levels, a couple from the Super Nintendo version that they didn't bring across and replaced with some unique ones. It was awesome.
So Land was its own game pretty much itself. Like, there was no crossover from the country levels.
Yep.
So it was just basically its own game. 2 was pretty much Country 2, except for the fact that the second and third worlds were merged together. The level Haunted Hall in Webwoods was changed to Crazy Coaster because they couldn't do the haunted library on the Game Boy. It was just too difficult. And the Lost World, you had to get all 47 Creme coins before you could access it. Whereas in the SNES version, you could pay 15 coins and go to a level. Whereas Land, you pay 47, you get all the levels.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, and then
how fast can you finish that one, by the way?
I haven't played it in ages.
Okay.
Yeah, I fired it up on the Super Game Boy a while ago, and just to see if it was working to start.
Test the reflexes again.
And yeah, has all the save data still from when I was a kid. So
that's awesome. The battery's still holding on.
Yeah, same with Donkey Kong Land as well. It had the battery as well. And then 3 is sort of like a follow up to the Country 3. It's a race to the Lost World. So Kitty and Dixie Kong have to go and beat K. Rool to the Lost World while all the Kremlings are in their way. But yeah, as I said, you can't have these 3 games. They have to be there. You just can't. You can't not have them, especially if you've got the 3 country games on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll pay that. So that leaves us with one more spot, and I'll throw out a few suggestions for everyone.
How does this not have Super Mario Land?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't touched on Super Mario Land. There's 6 golden coins that I was going to throw out as an option as well, which is all right. It's not like I kind of jotted it on the side of the list as we were doing the episode because it just kind of popped in my head. There's Metroid 2, but I'd probably say no to that, especially again since we've got some fairly modern takes on that and Samus Returns and those sorts of things. But I have to throw Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal out there because they are, in my eyes, like the definitive Pokemon games, in my opinion. Like, they are the peak of the franchise for me. So, like, I can't not, especially Silver and Matto, you're holding up at the moment. Like, Silver is my favorite of the 2 of the series. That then obviously you've got 2 copies of Silver handy. What?
Well, one of them doesn't actually work anymore.
Oh, the battery's dead. Just need to replace it.
We got just a new one. I can't remember where I put gold.
Jamie's
it's just somewhere. Oh, there we go.
There's gold. There's crystal, and obviously Matto's been waving silver around. But yeah, I have to throw those out there. We haven't got a core Pokemon game, and obviously they defined the Game Boy in the end. Tetris got the ball rolling, but Pokemon is what made the Game Boy what it was in the end. And holy shit, they're so good. There's a lot of games that we're leaving on the back burner as a result of all this, but I have to lobby for Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal.
This is so hard because Gen 2 is probably my favorite of the generations. But
I knew you were a good person.
But it has really bad balancing issues. It just, once you reach the 4th badge, it just falls apart.
Oh, it does get quite easy, but
yeah, and that's sort of been spoiled because I've been playing a Pokemon Crystal ROM hack recently, where it's based on the Space World 97 demo where they had all the beta Pokemon for Gold, Silver, and Crystal came out.
Yeah, okay.
So it's just utilized that and it's made it into like a completely different game. And
they tweaked it and balanced it for starters.
Yeah, they tweaked it and balanced it. And it's so good, the balancing. So that has sort of spoiled it for me because it's just like, oh, this is so good. But I can totally understand why the games should be there. I'm a bit hesitant to put them on as day one, simply for the fact that if this service was to come out very soon, we've got Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl coming out in November. We've got Legends Arceus coming out. I know I say Arceus, I'm not saying Arceus because it just doesn't sound right to me.
I don't even know which one's right. What do they say in the anime?
It's Arceus. Like,
it is?
That's what they say in the videos. I haven't watched the anime, so yeah. And that comes out in January. So if they were to release this service sooner rather than later, it does seem like it shouldn't be there first.
I mean, I can see the rationale.
It's coming from me as a Pokemon fan. Like, the games should be there. Like, I still think that Red, Blue, and Yellow should be there first. But they should definitely be there.
I mean, I could settle. I could settle with Red, Blue, Yellow, even like not getting my way. I could understand any logic as to that would result in Red, Blue, Yellow. I could understand as well. Are there any other games like beyond those two kind of core blocks of Pokemon releases that we've not discussed that we feel like should be in the conversation at all for this final spot?
Oh.
So again, there's the likes of Metroid 2. There's Super Mario. Obviously, we could put this out there without a Mario game on the list.
That'd be so funny.
I remember playing the Gold. I don't know which one was Gold or Silver back on a friend's computer years ago, as in Japanese. And there's one point in the game where you can't get past a certain point because you don't have a certain item or something, or you haven't been a gym leader. We couldn't understand what the hell was going on. We couldn't get past. We didn't know what was going on.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember whereabouts it is, but I know there's this one part where you can't get past because you got to beat a gym leader or something stupid.
And the translation completely screwed you.
Yeah, I don't understand Japanese.
Yeah, I had
Japanese.
I had the same issue while we were waiting for Ruby and Sapphire to make their way over here. I was playing a Japanese ROM and like on my computer and having a great time, but I couldn't understand a word of what was going on. I didn't know what moves I was using. Like it was all educated guesswork.
You just knew if they were doing effects on the other Pokemon, they were doing something.
It seems to be hurting them. That's good. It's clearly not Tail Whip. That's great. So, yeah, I can appreciate that one. Well, does anyone want to, like, is there anything then we'd suggest for that spot? Whether we want to go with just the original Red, Blue, Yellow, like as much as Silver is my favourite, or Gold and Silver, but specifically Silver are my favourites, I can understand why they wouldn't necessarily belong on the list in the end versus Red, Blue, Yellow.
The only other thing I can add to maybe this list that we've got to try and trim down is this one here, which is Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. Now,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. Like, if we're going to have a Mario game and if we're not going to have Super Mario Land, then we should at least have a remake of the original, but very much fleshed out. It's definitely in the thinking, but I don't know if that will make it.
That's a challenging one because of the presence of the games, of the original. I guess it's kind of the Link's Awakening argument, sort of. Obviously, very, very different, but
because you've got the original on the NES.
In this case, you've got
online
the original,
and All Stars on the SNES as well. So,
anyone might want to make a call? Matto, you're in the middle here. So, do you want to go pick a Pokemon or do you want to pick a Mario?
We gotta put a Mario in, otherwise people are gonna riot if we don't put a.
All right, well, which Mario do we
Mario
throw in there
game
then?
in.
Do we go with Deluxe? Do we go with 6 golden coins? Do we go with Mario Land?
I think you have to go with the original Super Mario Land.
All right, let's throw
Yeah,
Super Mario Land in there.
it has to be in there.
I can cop the lack of Pokemon in there because we've got TCG and Pinball.
That's all people
This
play
is
it
a
for. was
list.
Pokemon.
It'd be ironic if this game came on to it, Donkey Kong Country, because it was done on the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, they won't do that.
No, they won't do that.
So I'll read out our list of 10 and see how.
Oh, we
it
actually
sits with
got
everyone.
10.
We got 10 in the. Well, we've got like. There's obviously games that have just fallen by the wayside, like Pokemon, and anything else, Metroid and those sort of things along the way. But I don't think
Game
anyone
Boy
necessarily
Camera.
is going to lobby for Metroid 2 because it's probably the weakest of the franchise.
No, it's quite hard to
One
navigate.
of the weakest anyway. So we've got Tetris, Pokemon Pinball, the original, so Donkey Kong 94. So we're going to have 4 Donkey Kong games in the end. Mulmania, Perfect Dark, Harvest Moon 2, Pokemon the Trading Card Game, Legend of Zelda Ages/Seasons, Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, and 3, and Super Mario Land as the Mario game.
It's not a bad mix, really, because
It's
you've
not,
got
yeah, it's not a bad actual blend in the end because, yeah, if we put Gold, Silver, Crystal in there, that's a lot of Pokemon. It's already a lot of Donkey Kong, but that's a lot of Pokemon.
yeah, because you've got your Mario, you've got your Zelda, you've got Donkey Kong, you've got Pokemon.
I think we're good.
Plus a few extras.
Any regrets about any of the ones that we've respectively thrown up there that we're going, oh shit, now that we know what's missed the cut, does anyone have a change of heart?
I thought we were gonna battle a lot more towards the end. I'm thinking,
I thought we would too.
Yeah, I really
Well,
wish I paid attention to my Switch. Realized it did have a camera.
Oh, the camera already. Well, then you would have just come with 2 games, and you would have been even.
Oh no, I
less
would have
contribution.
tried to find another game.
Yeah, okay.
that I could remember.
I'm okay with that list.
Yeah, it's
I could
actually
deal with
quite
that
a
list. Like,
decent list.
If that's how the Game Boy, admittedly, there's probably going to be more than 10 anyway. But if they launched with just those 10, I would be very happy to begin with, knowing that there's still core Pokemon titles to come. There is Metroid. There are you can throw Link's Awakening in there. There are a bunch of Mario games. Like there's a lot still up the
Mario.
sleeve. Conquer, damn it. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff. Hell, Battletoads even.
Conker's Pocket Tales. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There was even a few really good Dragon Ball games back in the day on the Game Boy as well. That I'd be more than happy to see him back there. Obviously, there was the ones on the Game Boy Advance that were amazing, but there was a couple that were even like earlier that were pretty solid too.
one that I played that I don't have anymore, and it wouldn't come to it because of just licensing issue. Would have been Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 3. Have you guys heard of
them?
No,
I mean,
no.
I know there was a lot of Bugs Bunny games at the time. Like
Yeah.
Warner Brothers were throwing those guys out like it was going out of fashion, but I don't remember that one specifically.
Yeah. It was just basically a stages where you had to go and collect keys to. You had to have so many keys to unlock the door to go to the next level. So,
Cool.
pretty basic game in concept, but it got harder and harder as it went through.
Awesome. Well, any last thoughts on that one before we wrap things up?
I'm agreed. That's a very good list just to start with.
Yeah, I think it's really solid, and it's like nice and rounded. Like you're not getting too much of you're not. we got a bit of Donkey Kong, but that's fine. They're two
bit of
very
rare.
different Donkey Kong games. There's rare representation that's needed, and then a nice spread of everything else, covering lots of different genres. We've got a pinball game, we've got a trading card game, we've got a farming sim, we've got Tetris, we've got a
Puzzle
Mario
games.
platformer,
We've got,
Perfect
a shooter.
Dark. Yeah.
yeah, shooter, puzzle. We've got many.
We
genres.
nearly put Nigel Mansell in there as well. Like
as a racing game.
we have looked after everyone. And then there's Mulmania, which neither of us knew anything about, but I know personally I'll be going and investigating this game after
Yes.
after we're done. So
Yes, please go play Mulmania. It is definitely underrated, and you should go and play it.
nah, getting on that. All right, well, Jamie, thanks for coming on board and sharing all this expert Game Boy knowledge or Nintendo knowledge more broadly, but specifically Game Boy knowledge with us. It's been awesome, mate.
No, thank you. Had a blast on here. So no, thank you very much for having me.
No, it was awesome, mate. Really appreciate it.
I'm more surprised that we actually got a top 10 without any arguments.
That's what I thought. I thought, oh my god, we're going to argue so much over like 2 spots. And I was
We've
like,
learned our
oh.
lesson, Matto. Damo is the problem.
We're arguing over that, whatever that retire remake thing. We'll argue it like, oh no, this should be remade. No, this should retire. No.
I thought I was, like, despite the fact that Damo wasn't here, I thought I was in for an argument over Link's Awakening. I thought there was,
I
like,
would've
someone
shut
might have
it
gone,
down.
it's got to be
I
there
would have shut it
regardless.
down. Yeah, I would have shut down Link's Awakening too. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm happy with that then. I'm not too worried then. That was my one thing that I thought, okay, this is one that I could ruffle some feathers with, but it turns out you're 100% on board. Matto's fine with it too. Sweet, got that one through. All right, that concludes this entry of Patched. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell if it'll alert. Oh, geez, I've just lost my script.
Oh, you right there?
Yeah, I think I just had a stroke. Alert you to a whole bunch of awesome videos that go live exclusively on the channel. Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. There's some awesome stuff there, so please be sure to go check them out. Visit the website player2.net.au for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series, Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. You get a few bucks, lower tiers, early access, higher tiers, multi-episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto.
Matto_Phil, and also the auditions are still open.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, I'm not
anyone-
here permanently. I just came for the one.
I don't think it'll be once. I think we'll
Cool.
definitely have you back, regardless when Damo's back. Someone will take a week off.
We'll kick someone out.
Hell, I could just start the recording and then disappear and go enjoy some time with my wife. My wife should be shocked after 230 episodes. I've actually decided to come and spend time with her. She'll be mortified and she'll probably tell me to go away. But no, we'll definitely have you back. Jamie, where can you be found, mate?
You can find me at Jamie Penningh on Twitter. Don't forget the H on the end.
Make sure to, if
forget
you're not
the
sure, go
H.
check the video version. It's going to be in the show notes as well. So make sure you go check that one out. Again, thanks so much for coming on the show, mate.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome to be able to wax Nintendo with you. And we'll definitely be sure to do that again at some point. There's going to be plenty of Nintendo stuff over the coming years, I'm sure. Who knows, Breath of the Wild 2 might be a good point of conversation. Certainly you could afford to fill one of mine or Matto's spots for that one because neither of us are shitty Witcher.
Since his pitching skills are so good, maybe next time you can try and convince us.
I could sell us
on Breath of the Wild, because
I could
we're not
actually
too sure-
convince you
'cause
that it's
Nintendo
not
Try and
crap.
convince us.
It's just
Try
not
and
a Zelda
convince
game.
us.
But that is definitely a
Agree
conversation
to a point, but that's
another. That's definitely a conversation for another episode. Or we've already gone for an hour, and God knows how long it'll go for. we thought this was going to go for 30 or 40 in patch fashion. It's gotten very bloated. But it was awesome.
This won't go for too long trick.
Just
Yeah.
start pulling
might be a long
games
episode.
out.
Yeah, just make it rain. Just anyway, that is where we're going to wrap things up. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. See you later, everyone.
See ya.
Wait for it.
Oh, he's making it rain.
Oh no!
Done. You broke one.
Get more
I broke
money.
one.